Hello again, friends, and welcome back to your Matchday ticket live with Networking 90. Head to networking90.co.uk for information on Brunel launching the 20th of October. It's half time, it's 0-0. I'll bring the cruncher in because it's an absolute underwhelming first half. Should we put it that way?
Poor. I can't say anymore. Anyway, we've got the front three with the height of one of these. Look, a garden gnome. He'd be better up front than Alan Judge.
I agree with you. I think he probably would do. I'll tell you what, though. If we're going to lose today's game, it's going to be us beating ourselves. Because for me, in that first half, Accrington Stanley haven't really offered anything. We've kept the ball at times rather nicely. We've created nice patterns. The issue is, obviously, we're not playing with an out-and-out striker. So when you've done your triangle work in the centre of the field and shifted it out wide to Edwards or Sears... Yeah. There's nobody in the middle because... Two
or three times, didn't he? Edwards down the right-hand side. And you've got no one in the box.
Nobody.
Freddie Sears, what is he doing in the team? Absolute dog shit. He is awful. I'm sorry. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. And why? We have a guy last week, scores 2 goals, plays on the left, and he's shipped out back to the right. I don't understand it, Martin. I really don't.
No, well, I'm struggling too. I've got some comments coming in. Ed Nash, bet Rob's late. Yes, he is. Adam, put Chambers up front. Terry English, I'll take a point now. I wouldn't. I think we got 3 points coming here, boys. Cray, shocking really. Holy keeps going long to Freddie and Judge. We'll talk on Holy in a minute because holy hell.
Hands, Holy, hands.
Oh, my God. Luke Penning, look a totally different team. Andrew Arbin, welcome in, brother. Absolutely shocking. Rabbit Man 39, midfield needs to improve. Rayclad, shocking. MW, holy distribution, piss poor, one more. MDF not showing up, take the ball, use the ball. Judge isn't a striker. Well, we all knew that. What a disappointing half. He's here! Good grief, he's here.
Waiting for the link, mate. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we can. So what did you think make of that first half, D?
Honestly, I thought we were second best. Got by quite a way, really.
Really? You know what? I thought we huffed, we puffed. We were never going to blow the house down, but, you know, we didn't even attempt, really.
No, the only time we looked threatening was that time we got Sears in down the side, where we looked. That's the one time we looked like our pace could threaten them.
He's got no... Hang on. Rewind. Pace and Sears not in the same conversation.
It's true. But in that individual case, he got in with that.
Couldn't finish his dinner, could he? Can't finish his dinner neither, Sears.
No, Freddie Sears, he's proven again he's not an out-and-out striker, and that's why Lambo don't see him there. You know, I argued in the summer with people who are more knowledgeable than I that Lambo doesn't see him as a striker, and it's proved it today he doesn't, because he's not playing centrally. If he is, it's not often, and he had that chance in the first half, and you've got to take those, haven't you?
Good save by the goalie, but yeah, you've got to hit the target. You've got to score, haven't you?
You're 4 yards out.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to bury it.
You know, I've seen even Rob Davies have a strike on goal better than that.
Only got 1 foot, though.
That's true. JT, it feels like we're playing with 10 men. Midfield can't get a hold of the ball, and when they do, it gets pelted into no man's land. I agree with that. Andre stood out. He's really played well for me. But the other two with him, they haven't. And that's where our problems seem to stem from. Judge, Sears and Edwards are all dropping a little bit too deep to collect the ball because there's nothing between Andre and the front. Hughes and Bishop, for me, they're too nowhere.
They're drifting around, I think, and as a result, they're sort of drifting. They end up drifting deep, and then if everyone's coming deep, we've got nobody in behind. I just thought the one time we did have that moment where we got in behind, pace or not, was that chance with Sears down the left side. That's the only time we've really got at them, I thought.
I think we could play about 10, 15 yards further up the pitch, Martin.
Yeah, we could.
Everybody get up the pitch.
Absolutely.
They've not really got a threat. They've got no one with a bit of pace who's going to get in behind you, have you? Really? Most of their shots have come from outside the box, haven't they?
Yeah.
From
that's why I say the only way we lose this game is if we beat ourselves, like we almost did in the first half there with the Holy mistake or the one too many passes in our own half. I love playing out from the back, but you've got to know as players when it's not on and when it is on. And Wilson got incredibly lucky there towards the end of the first half. It wasn't really on. And
he actually ended up with a quality ball, didn't he? But
yeah, more by luck than judgment, weren't it?
Oh, huge. Somebody asked in the chat, MW, how do we turn this around at half? Or for the second half? Obviously, looking at the bench there, you've got a couple of options. You mentioned, Cruncher, that Stanley aren't offering much. I'd bring Kenlock off and bring Bennett's on and forget playing 4 at the back. I know we're playing literally with a 2 and Dozell sitting in. So you're playing Kenlock as a left winger anyway. So go for a left winger.
He won't do that, though, will he?
Why?
He's not. Because it's
To be honest, if he was to do that, he'll play Sears there. Mick McCarthy turned Sears into a fullback. Remember those Halcyon days?
Bonkers.
There's Luke Varney when you need him.
Oh, a plan for Burton. Is he still at Burton? He can't be. No, he can't.
Luke Varney?
Yeah.
No, he was at Cheltenham.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
What, for the races or playing in League Two?
I'm just thinking on the lines of what MW is asking there. How do you get a little bit more about us? And for me, it's sacrificing a fullback for a winger, because you're playing him as a winger anyway. He's playing in the same sort of role as Luke Garbutt did last year, more attacking than defending, because Stanley aren't interested in really going forward. They're interested in saying, we'll put 10 men behind the ball.
Well, I thought they'd done well for
us.
last 10, 15 minutes, you know. They came into the game. I'm agreeing with Robbie now, you know, 1-0. We'd take a 1-0 now, wouldn't we? Scrappy goal.
No injuries and a 1-0. You take it. The thing is, we've let them have, I don't know what the stats are, I'm trying to see on the other screen, but to be honest, they've had quite a lot of shots, haven't they? Accrington, like you said, they've all been outside the D, or outside the box. But at the end of the day, if you let them have 30 shots on goal, even a League One club of their stature is going to hit the target and put one in the corner.
Anyway, Robbie, what about getting this little fella up front, second half, yeah?
It looks like he can hold the ball up back into a few defenders,
Yeah, he's good. Look, hang on. He's got big backside.
Christ.
So total shots, they've had 10, we've had 3. They've had 3 on target. So
we've got a goalie as well. We got a sea line in goal, haven't we? Flapping around.
Oh, though every week I seem to have a go about
the ball that came down the right hand side, in behind Chambers. All he's got to do is pick the ball up. It's in the area.
Well, that was from the long goal kick, wasn't it? And Edwards even turned around and if you watch it back, Edwards does this to him.
Pick the ball up. It's when you got gloves on.
I messaged you, didn't I, Crunch, saying, does he know he's got hands?
Jesus Christ.
He fucking use them, pal.
Pick it up.
So, we're not...
Is this where you bring in your love of bar, or we're gonna go on a Cornell fest instead? I think we've got 2 average goalkeepers. Will Norris was another one at the same level. I don't think any of them really stand out to me. We're in League One. We've got a selection of League One goalkeepers at best.
Neil Wilmore on Facebook. I'm 46 and I can still do a job up front. I'm warming up. And I think it might come to that, at some point, especially for Tuesday. Luke Penning, Varney's player coach at Burton. Yeah! Look at that. Lambert knows knowledge. Lambert's got his knowledge.
Shops are available.
Yeah, like Primark. Richard Naylor. I tell you what, that might be the way to go at some point. You put a centre half up the top, like an Ian Pearce.
Ian Marshall. He used to be.
Right, then which centre half are you going to put up there?
It's up here for thinking, down there for dancing, pal.
Who are you putting up there? Who are you playing up there?
Yeah, I thought that. Who are you putting up there?
I'll put Chambers up there. But in a China shop.
We haven't got another right back. We haven't got any other fullbacks.
Don't need fullbacks today, boys and girls. You do not need fullbacks. Honestly, I've never seen 2 fullbacks as high as Kenlock and Chambers in that half. Kenlock might as well be hugging the corner flag.
If we were to follow your advice and take one of the fullbacks off, 100%, 48 minutes, we're going 1-0 down because someone's out of position at fullback.
Oh, good grief. If we concede, we are in trouble because they're just going to shut the door and say, we're over.
If we go behind, I think we're going to lose it.
Honestly. Oh, big time. Big time. I'll tell you what, let's look around the grounds. League One fixtures. We've got Swindon 0, Sunderland 1, Rochdale 0, Hull 1, Portsmouth and Donny 0-0, Plymouth 1, Northampton 0, Peterborough winning Rob 1-0 at home to Oxford, Fleetwood and Lincoln 0-0. Oh, there's a lot of 0-0s. The rest of the games are all 0-0. I'll save myself some time. So, no goals in League One. Barts had a howler in the Championship. So,
they're losing, aren't they?
Yeah, losing to Wickham, yeah. Bart had a howler, apparently. I've not seen it, but according to Twitter, it was a howler. George Robinson, only sub we need is Rob out. Hang on, you've been calling for Rob in after every other week. Tim Reeve, Stockwell played up front at one point during a strike, but you can't.
Scored 2 against Wimbledon in the Premier League.
Yeah, but we can't put Mickey Stockwell in the same breath as any player in this squad. Any player. He's more of a striker than anybody in this current 18.
True.
And that's including Tyree Simpson, who I wouldn't be against seeing.
Not for me.
I think he should. If he's going to make a change, I think you've got to knock it over the top. I presume Bennett's is fast. I've not seen next to anything of him, probably like anyone, but for me, he would be the. I don't really see what other changes you've got. If you put Simpson in there, yeah, he might back in and stuff. But the problem is, he's not 6'5", whatever, like the centre halves. Just acknowledge that we're not gonna beat them physically and run him down the channels and see if we can beat them that way.
They'll eat him for breakfast. They'll eat him for breakfast. Them Giants, if they put Simpson on.
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't
Don't try
mind.
and play their game.
But the thing, what I'm thinking is he comes on and does a Hawkins light, if you like. He occupies space. Because at the moment we've got nobody occupying the two centre halves, and it's just we're toothless. We're absolutely toothless. Before we hand back, don't forget we are here at full time, where we want to hear from you guys at home. It's your turn to come on the show and have your say, whatever you feel, whatever you think. The transfer policy, the lack of strikers coming in, the injuries,
The cameraman.
the cameraman.
Have we got a transfer policy?
I tell you what, Rob, you put that beer down because you do not need a beer in this game. The cameraman alone is making you feel you've had 4, 5, 8 pints.
I feel like I've been out the night before and during the day today, to be honest.
I've got a headache. The dog's got a
I've never seen
headache.
the word Ipswich Town Football Club on the roof of the stand so often.
I know. JT, why can't you play 4-3-3 with no striker and Gnome up front?
No, up front, get him on.
I agree. Right, we're done. So full time on the full time.
Maybe there's gnome place for him.
We are back. Reece Curtis, the cameraman, needs to be sacked. Jacob Farrow, awful. He must have one arm and 2 fingers. My good hand, child. That's a great film, by the way. That is a great film.
He's back on it anyway. The cameraman, he's just, they're coming out and he's.
Oh, they're coming out. Good. Right, we'll see it full time with love, with care, up the town. Still a 3-0 win. Every day of the week. Every day of the week.
Dream.